In today's class, we are going to see your applications of thermal expansion. In the last class, I have given one example on applications of thermal expansion, that is, your difference in lengths to remain constant or equal expansion for all temperature difference. I mean, for all the difference in temperature. Okay, so today's class, we are going to see your calculation of equivalent coefficient of resistance. Like this, how temperature affects density, pendulum clocks, then moment of inertia, different quantities we will see. So now your today's topic is calculation of equivalent coefficient of expansion is the first idea here. Now let us say you have two rods, length L1 equivalent, alpha 1, one more rod, length L2 and alpha 2. Now let us say I have joined these two rods. For this rod, what is your equivalent coefficient of expansion? L1 plus L2. Okay. So now how we are going to do this is, your L1 dash is L1 times 1 plus alpha 1 into temperature difference delta theta. Your L double dash is L2 times 1 plus, or I can just simply write as L2 dash and L1 dash. Okay, so that will give you L2 times 1 plus alpha into delta theta. Now when they are connected to combine, when they are connected such that they combine, what happens is your L1 dash plus L2 dash is, initial length of equivalent rod is L1 plus L2 times 1 plus alpha equivalent into same temperature difference if you are bringing, this is delta theta. So if you simplify this, that will give you L1 plus L1 alpha 1 plus L2 alpha 2 times delta theta. Okay, that will give you, this side it is L1 plus L2 plus L1 plus L2 times alpha equivalent into delta theta. So these two terms, L1 plus L2, and here also you have L1 plus L2, it will cancel off because I haven't added them properly. From here your alpha equivalent is L1 alpha 1 plus L2 alpha 2 by it is L1 plus L2. Okay, like this you can actually give the equivalent temperature coefficient. Okay, right. Now next, coming to the next scenario. Okay, it is a condition, or you can take it as a question, no issues. Okay, I am using generalized terms, that's all. Your next one is, let us say you have, a rod of length L, coefficient of temperature is alpha 1, temperature is T1 for this. One more rod is there, length L2, length L, same length L, alpha 2 and temperature T2. Okay, now find at what temperature lengths are equal, once again is the question. Find at what temperature lengths are equal. This is your question. Okay, try this. Pause the video clip, try it, then I will explain the answer. Okay, and at what temperature the final lengths are once again equal. So now after heating, okay, indirectly this is L dash. Your L dash is L times 1 plus alpha 1 times some common temperature or required temperature T minus T1. This is your final length of first body. Your final length of second body is, which is equal to, both are equal, so this will become L times 1 plus alpha 2 into common temperature minus T2. Now we have to solve this. L will go off, 1 will go off. Alpha 1 T common minus alpha 1 T1 is equal to alpha 2 T common minus alpha 2 into T2. Now that will give you how much means, if you simplify this, okay, alpha 2 T2 minus alpha 1 T1 is equal to alpha 2 minus alpha 1 into T common. From here your common value is alpha 2 T2 minus alpha 1 T1 by alpha 2 minus alpha 1. Okay, so this is your common temperature at which both the lengths are equal. Okay, right. Next is let me see what else is present. All right. Now next is your effect of, no, before that there are small things which I have forgot to explain. Now in certain questions, because this delta L by L part is known to you, fractional change, if it is asked, what is your fractional change means? Fractional change in length is delta L by L. Okay, so percentage change if you want, okay, this is delta L by L into 100. Now what is delta L by L means? Alpha delta theta into 100. Okay, you will have questions on percentage change in length and fractional change like that. Okay, so if you are asked percentage change in area, so what is that you are going to do is delta A by A into 100, but delta A by A is beta delta theta into 100, but what is beta means 2 alpha delta theta into 100. And if you are asked percentage change in volume, it is delta V by V into 100, this is equal to gamma delta theta into 100, so 3 alpha delta theta into 100. Okay, anywhere if you see these kind of questions related to basic percentage or percentage error, such kind of stuff, do this. Okay, so this is okay enough. We'll just simply do simple questions. So still we are doing only this coefficients of expansion related stuff only. So I'll give some 2 to 3 basic questions. You just try these questions and then give the answer. Hope you have copied these things down. Now your question is, the change in length of a rod change in length of a rod of length 1 meter when it is heated through 1 degrees Fahrenheit is dash. In the bracket your alpha value is given as 10 power minus 6 per degrees centigrade. Okay, now come on, try this question. So you cannot just simply write delta L is L alpha delta theta, but here this is given in terms of degrees Fahrenheit and your alpha is in terms of degrees centigrade. Okay, So for this, what is it you are supposed to do? Delta C by 5 is equal to delta F by 9. So now your alpha is mentioned in degrees centigrade. So your Fahrenheit is given as in terms of 1 degrees Fahrenheit. So 1 degrees Fahrenheit change in delta C is 5 by 9 degrees centigrade is the temperature difference in Celsius scale. So that will give you L equal to 1 times. What is alpha means? I am not converting this. It is 10 power 6 per degree centigrade times your temperature difference in Celsius scale. How much it is means? It is 5 by 9. Okay, 5 by 9 degrees centigrade. Degree centigrade will cancel off. You are going to get it is 5 by 9 times 10 power minus 6 like this. Okay, so that much meters. Okay, basic questions you do it depending upon unit. Okay, next question. Alpha of a material is equal to, it is 18 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. 18 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. What is your question is, find gamma in degrees Fahrenheit, per degrees Fahrenheit. Find gamma in per degrees Fahrenheit is the question. Okay, this conversion is obviously supposed to be known. Do it. Find gamma in per degrees Fahrenheit. So gamma is 3 alpha. You will get it in once again per degree centigrade only, but I want in degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, you should not write degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, you can write Kelvin, you cannot write degree Kelvin. What is the answer? No. Gone. Dash into 10 power minus 5 per degrees Fahrenheit is the answer. Simple question. Integer type. Hope you are trying. It is 3. So what is it we are supposed to do? So alpha definition is delta L by L into delta theta. Okay. So your gamma is 3 times alpha. So gamma value is actually 3 into 18 into 10 power minus 6 per degrees centigrade. Now here this expression, in this expression of alpha, this delta theta is in which unit means it is in degrees centigrade. Now we know that delta C is how much? Delta C by 5 is delta F by 9. So your delta F is 9 by 5 times delta C. Okay, right? So what is it you are supposed to do? Substitute this expression into this part. In place of this degree centigrade, it is indirectly 1 degree centigrade. 1 degree centigrade temperature difference is how much? 9 by 5 degrees Fahrenheit. So substitute it accordingly and then simplify. You will get 3 into something. Okay, next basic questions you are supposed to do it. Okay, next question is, I am taking only just direct questions. Okay, this is more than enough. Now next is your effect of temperature on pendulum clocks. Now this is one of the easiest topics. Every 3-4 years once this question is actually being asked. So now normally what is your time period means? Your time period is what? 2 pi into under root L by G. Okay, your time period of a pendulum is given by 2 pi into under root L by G. Now this is not temperature, this is your time period. Okay, now what happens is, okay, if you look at the pendulum clock, okay, normal time period of this pendulum clock is usually 2 seconds. Okay, so what is time period means? This is your mean position, this is your extreme position, and this is also your extreme position. So from here to here, how much time a body takes to go means T by 4. To come back it is T by 4. Then to go to extreme position once again T by 4, and then to come back it is T by 4. Okay, from here to here T by 4, here to here T by 4, here to here T by 4, here to here T by 4. Okay, now what happens is, if you change the temperature in summer or winter, what happens is this length L will change. So if this L is changing, automatically what happens is your time period will also automatically change. So if this time period is changing, if this length is changing, automatically your time period is changing. So how will this time period get affected because of the temperature is what I am trying to calculate. Now here normally your seconds pendulum time period is actually here capital T is 2 seconds. That means it takes 2 seconds for the body to go to this extreme position, and then come back. Okay, that means half second here, half second till here, half second till here, and then to come back it is half. Or else if it is starting 1 second to go and 1 second to come back, like this. Okay, now when length is actually changing, okay, automatically what happens, this clock shows wrong reading because your time period is changing. Okay, so for one oscillation, complete oscillation, it is taking 2 seconds. So it should show for one complete correct time period of 2 seconds, it will show 2 seconds if it is a correct clock. But what is happening is when length is changing, your time period is changing, obviously your clock will show wrong reading. Okay, so in the summer and winter, obviously these clocks will show wrong reading. So now how is that I am supposed to calculate your effect of time period? I will tell you. Now let us say, let the clock show correct value at T naught. Okay, correct value at some temperature theta. Okay, temperature is theta and correct time period is some T naught for that particular clock. Okay, normally usually it is 2 seconds, but it is T naught I am assuming. So your T naught is 2 pi into your initial length. If I assume it as L naught, your T naught is under root L naught by G. Now if I increase the temperature, okay, if we increase the temperature, then your theta will change, your temperature will change. So that means automatically your delta theta will be there and your length L will change. So changing length means it will indicate change in time period. Delta T is what? Time period. Okay, so this will happen. So obviously your clock shows incorrect reading. So your new time period T dash, if I assume your T dash is 2 pi into under root. Okay, what is your final length? Your final length is L dash, or it can be written as L naught plus 1 plus alpha into some temperature difference of delta theta whole divided by g. Okay, I am taking at temperature, at new temperature of some theta dash. Okay, it will show 2 pi into under root L naught by g. So that will give you t dash is equal to, this can be written as 2 pi into under root L naught by g times under root 1 plus alpha into delta theta. Okay, so this term is once again initial time period. So t dash by t naught is equal to 1 plus alpha into delta theta whole power 1 by 2. Okay, right. Now your t dash by t naught can also be written as 1 plus half alpha delta theta, because 1 plus x whole power n is 1 plus nx, provided your x is very much less than 1. Here, because alpha is in the order of 10 power minus 6, your t dash by t naught minus 1. Okay, I mean you can write it that way. So that will give you half alpha delta theta. So simplifying this, your t dash minus t naught by t naught is half alpha delta theta. Okay, so now if you look at this expression, this part is loss or gain of time depending upon whether temperature is increasing or decreasing, by your t naught is your time period. Okay, in one cycle how much time is lost or gained. So indirectly this expression is nothing but your time loss or gain per second. Okay, per second is given by your half alpha delta theta. Okay, so here there are important points that I want you to remember. Loss if delta theta is positive, gain if delta theta is less than 0. Okay, this is time loss or gain per second. Okay, so simplify it, copy it down. Any doubts, just let me know. Okay, if delta theta is positive, loss of time. If delta theta is negative, it is gain of time. Okay, so this is your effect of temperature on pendulum clocks. Okay, so I will erase this stuff. I will continue further. Pause the video, copy this stuff down. So now what to do with this, I will tell you. So here your time lost or gained per second is half alpha delta theta. Per second means it is in the denominator. So if it is per minute, okay, per minute, what is your answer means it is half alpha delta theta into 60. Okay, it is in the denominator. To convert this, some x per second if you do into 60 by 60 if you do, this 60 seconds together it will become a minute. So that will become 60x per minute like this. So that is why we have to multiply. We should not divide. Okay, it is per minute, means that is it is divided by. Okay, next it is, if it is per hour. Okay, 1 hour once again contains 60 minutes. Half alpha delta theta into 60 into 60. Okay, for minute it is 60. In 1 hour once again you have 60. Okay, next time lost or gained per day if you are asked. Okay, day contains 24 hours. So half alpha delta theta into 60 into 60 into 24. If it is asked per week, it is half alpha delta theta times 60 into 60 into 24 into 7. Okay, so your time lost or gained per second, per minute, per hour, per day, per week, like this you have to calculate on the problems as well. Okay, right. So now based on this, a simple question. A clock gains 10 seconds at 15 degrees centigrade. Okay, a simple question. A clock gains 10 seconds at 15 degrees centigrade and loses 20 seconds at 45 degrees centigrade. Find temperature at which correct reading is shown. Find temperature at which correct reading is shown. Okay, that is your question. It is easy only, you can directly do it. Okay, so copy this stuff down, take this question, then do it. Okay, so if it is gaining, okay, let the correct temperature is theta. So your 10 is equal to half into alpha into, if it is gain, what is that we are supposed to do? Gain of time occurs when temperature is more, final theta minus 15, and for the last part your 20 is equal to half into alpha into, it is 45 minus theta. Okay, you will have loss of time when delta theta is greater than 0. So at 45 degrees centigrade it is less than 45 and greater than 15. So solve these two equations, divide and get the value of theta, you will get the answer. Okay, like this you can do actually basic questions. Okay, right. Next, okay, now the most important and confusing part, scales. Okay, so scales and tapes, what is it, I will tell you. Okay, so now you will get confused in lot of ways if you are not following this topic properly. So I want you to concentrate and listen to what I am explaining very carefully. Okay, so what is this scales, what is this tapes and all, I will explain now. Okay, now normally if you take a metal scale, okay, so next heading is your scales and tapes. Now let us say you have a scale like this. Now between these scales, okay, usually if you are taking, if this has 1, between two divisions normal scale will show how much, means 1 mm. Okay, now here two possibilities are there. Okay, the object that you are measuring will expand and scale is also going to expand. So both possibilities are there. Okay, now you have to read the language of the question very carefully, because at one point if you do anything wrong, your entire question actually goes wrong. Now for example, let us say you have a rod, its temperature is 20 degrees centigrade, its length is, for example, 6.3 centimeters is what you have measured at 20 degrees centigrade. This scale was initially at 20 degrees centigrade and it obviously shows correct reading initially. Let us say at 20 degrees it is showing correct reading. Now when you heat it or cool down, what happens is when you heat, objects will expand. So the gap between these divisions will actually increase, right? So when you are heating the scale, okay, it will show, okay, because the gap is increasing. If you are bringing it to some 25 degrees centigrade and if you measure it at this 25, now the gap has increased. Okay, at 25 degrees centigrade if you are measuring this object at 20 degrees centigrade means it will show exactly 6.3, but now because the gap has been increasing, so somewhere around 5.8 centimeter reading will actually be shown. So that means this scale, when you are heating it, it will show lesser reading. Okay, so your true reading is different, measured value is different. True reading is different, measured value is different. Because the gaps are actually increasing, it will show lesser reading. Okay, first get convinced with this point. Okay, so when you are measuring, calibrating the scale, if you are calibrating at 20 degrees centigrade, if you heat it or if you cool it, what happens is this temperature will automatically change. Okay, right? So in different cases we will actually see what are the lengths and all, what is the final length, what is the measured value is what we are going to see. Okay, so concentrate on different cases that I am explaining. Any question that you give me, it will come into these cases only. Okay, now first case 1. Okay, object is expanding or contracting, scale is not expanding or contracting. Okay, so in this case, okay, my point is, let us say you have a object, its initial length is L0 is equal to 2 centimeter. Okay, now let us say it is at 20 degrees centigrade. Okay, this is your correct calibration temperature. Now your scale is also at this calibration temperature only. Now it is still at calibration temperature and 20 degrees centigrade. Now you have heated this rod. Okay, now let us say your length after expansion is some 2.3 centimeter. Okay, now this is your final length. Now how much will your scale show means, initially it will show 2 only. Your measured value initially at 20 degrees centigrade, it is how much means, it will show 20 only, 2 centimeter only. But after heating, what happens is, okay, once again it will show, okay, this measured value will be, okay, measured value, your initial length is L0, your final length L dash is how much means, L0 times 1 plus alpha of object into delta of theta. Okay, so your measured value here, how much it shows means, the scale did not expand, so obviously it will show what reading, it will obviously show correct reading. So initially if it is 2 initial length, final length if it is L0 times 1 plus alpha naught into delta theta, obviously your measured value and true value both are same. Okay, getting my point? Here concentrate very carefully. Your scale is not at all expanding, only your object is expanding. Okay, obviously scale will show correct reading. So initially if it is 2 centimeters, after expansion it is L0 times 1 plus alpha of object into delta theta, then your measured value is nothing but reading shown by the scale. Okay, it is your measure. Don't look at the number of lines. Okay, I just randomly put some dotted lines. Your measured value is L0 times 1 plus alpha naught into delta theta. Your measured value in this case is also your true reading, which is equal to L0 times 1 plus alpha of object into delta theta. For clarity's sake, I will put it with different colors. This value, measured value is 2.3. Initial length it is 2. Okay, 2 is becoming 2.3. Here scale is not expanding, so obviously correct reading will be shown. Okay, copy this down, you will not get it in the books. It is very very important. You will get confused while doing problems. Okay, this idea looks simple, but you will not be able to do the questions. Next, your case 2 is in the second case, object is not expanding but scale is, okay, scale is expanding. Okay, so that means you have an object here, its length is L naught equal to 2 centimeter. Okay, now it is at 20 degrees centigrade. Initially you have your scale here at 20 degrees centigrade and it is the scale's calibration temperature. Now obviously in the starting, okay, when it is at 20 degrees centigrade, what will it show is, it will show, obviously here it is going to show 2 centimeter marking. But now what is that I am going to do is, I am going to take this scale, okay, concentrate very carefully, this is the most important part. Okay, this is your new temperature T dash which is greater than Tc. Okay, now when you are heating, okay, what happens is your gap will increase. Initially 2 centimeter if it is here, now this 2 centimeter mark because of expansion, okay, because of expansion it will shift somewhere here. Okay, your 2 centimeter mark will be here. Okay, now observe very carefully, this is the most important point. Here let us say I have shifted it to some 25 degrees centigrade. Okay, now here your object is not expanding, your object is as such. What is happening to your scale? Your scale temperature is increasing. Now observe very carefully. Okay, your measured value is, okay, here this is your measured value. Okay, your measured value, it will obviously show lesser reading. Let us say it is showing some 1.8 centimeter. Okay, because of expansion, when the scale gaps they are increasing, obviously what happens, it will show lesser reading. Okay, gaps between the these two, okay, readings will increase. Because the gap is increasing, obviously it will show lesser reading. Okay, so your measured value, let us say it is some 1.8 centimeter. Now observe carefully, this is what, 1.8 centimeter on scale, it is your measured value. Okay, measured value shown by what, scale. But this 1.8, okay, correctly speaking, somewhere here your 1.8 is supposed to be here, but this 1.8 is expanding and coming to this point. If it is coming to this point, how much is this length means, we know that it is 2 centimeters. Getting my point? When you are heating it, what happens is object will expand. Okay, obviously the gap between the readings will increase. If this gap is increasing, this scale will show lesser value. Okay, initially at correct temperature if it is showing 2 centimeters, now you have increased the temperature. Increasing the temperature, what it will do is, it will make this scale, okay, to expand. When scale expands, the gap between the readings will increase. Instead of showing 2, it will show a lesser value. It will show some 1.8. That 1.8 reading, somewhere which is here, it will start, okay, first between these two readings gap will increase. Okay, between these two gap will increase. 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 Because the gaps are actually increasing, somewhere here where your 1.8 is there, that 1.8 will shift to this point and it is becoming 2. Okay, getting my point? So your 1.8 is expanding and becoming 2. So that means your true reading is, okay, observe carefully. In this case, your true reading or actual reading is measured value. Measured value is what? Reading shown by the object times 1 plus alpha of scale times delta theta. So indirectly what is my point is, true reading is 2 centimeter. Measured value is, it will show 1.8, reading shown by the object. 1.8 is becoming and expanding and becoming into 2. Okay, Getting my point? This is your second case. In this case, what is happening? Your object is not expanding, only scale is expanding, only scale's temperature has been changed. Okay, right? This is your second case. Okay, many books, these formulas and all will be confusing and you will not understand. You have to copy it down very carefully, because while solving the questions you will often do mistakes. Okay, next, case 3, when both object and scale expand. Case 3, when object and scale both expand. Okay, so now what is the true reading, what is the measured value, what is the actual reading is what we are going to see now. Now let us say your object is here, correct calibration temperature is some 20 degrees centigrade, scale is here. So obviously if it is some initial length is L0, okay, and for understanding sake let us say L0 is some 5 centimeters, no, let's just simply take 2. So obviously when this scale is also at 20 degrees centigrade, what will it do is it will show a reading of 2 centimeter. So in this case measured value, true value both are same. Okay, because the temperatures are same. Now what is that I am doing is, okay, now I have expanded the object, okay, because of heating the object has expanded, and let us say it is L0 times 1 plus alpha delta theta is your new length. Let us say it is some 2.3 centimeters like this. Okay, upon heating to some 25 degrees centigrade. This is your calibration temperature. Now it is your new temperature some T dash. Now observe very carefully. Okay, your scale now it is also heated, so obviously it will not show 2.3, it will show a value which is less than 2.3, because the scale has expanded. Whenever scale is expanding it will show a lesser value. So now because the scale has expanded, let us say it is showing, this is your measured value of the scale, let us say it is 1.9 centimeter. So now because of expansion, okay, somewhere here your 1.9 is supposed to be there, but what has this become, 1.9 has shifted to a total length of how much means 2.3 centimeter. Getting my point? This 1.9 reading was actually supposed to be here, but because of expansion, because of the increasing gap, okay, it has come to this point. Now in this case, okay, your measured value is, okay, measured value is, okay, it is indirectly, okay, 1.9, sorry, you cannot, this is not the, I mean measured value is not what we are going to get here. So your true reading, okay, actual reading is, actual reading is once again measured value times 1 plus alpha of scale into delta theta. Okay, so measured value how much means it is 1.9. okay, so 1.9 is expanding and actual reading is how much, 2.3. so this 1.9 is expanding and becoming 2.3. so that is why 2.3 is 1.9 times 1 plus alpha of scale into delta theta. Now in the question directly this could be given, or else your actual reading is what, nothing but L0 times 1 plus alpha of object into delta theta, that is equal to measured value times 1 plus alpha of scale into delta theta. Okay, so he could give you even this. okay, where your L naught is 2, this is alpha of object, together it is 2.3, measured value is 1.9 times this much. Now in the question what he could ask is, what is the correct length at correct calibration temperature, means L naught. If L naught is asked using binomial approximations, you can send it to other side and you can write, okay, m measured value times, from this it is 1 plus alpha of scale times delta theta by 1 plus alpha of object into delta theta. So that will give you measured value times, okay, this you can multiply, take to numerator power minus 1. So that will give you 1 plus, okay, here what is my point is 1 plus alpha of scale into delta theta times that 1 plus alpha of object can be written as 1 plus alpha of object into delta theta power minus 1. If you are simplifying this, 1 plus alpha of scale into delta theta times 1 minus alpha of object into delta theta. 1 plus x whole power minus n is 1 minus nx. So that will give you 1 plus alpha of scale minus 1 plus alpha of object into delta theta minus alpha scale alpha object delta theta whole square. This term we are neglecting it. So finally this will become 1 plus alpha of scale minus alpha of object into delta theta. Depending upon what is asked in the question, you have to do it. If you are asked L naught, true length at correct temperature, if you are directly given what is the true reading, you can just simply do this. And if you are asked measured value, okay, your measured value expression is, this is an expression for L naught. Your measured value is following the same logic, it is L naught times 1 plus alpha of object minus alpha of scale into delta theta. Okay, do the rearrangement. Depending upon the question, you read the question carefully and then substitute the values and get the result. Okay, so this is how you are supposed to calculate it. Okay, right? Hope there are no doubts. Now if you are talking about tape, okay, tape is nothing but scale, but your object is not expanding when you are using tape, okay, only tape will expand. Okay, a steel tape will give this much value, something like that, they will give simple questions. You will be able to do it. Next, hope you have understood it. Based on this, a simple question I will give. Brass scale of barometer gives correct reading at 0. Okay, no, barometer and all not required now. No, okay, zinc rod at 30 degrees centigrade, zinc rod at 30 degrees centigrade measured with brass scale at 30 degrees centigrade shows 1 meter length. Okay, next, scale is correct at 0. Scale is correct at 0 degrees centigrade. Scale is correct at 0 degrees centigrade. What is true length of zinc at 0? Find length of zinc rod at 0 degrees centigrade. That is your question. And your alpha of zinc is 29 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. And you are given alpha of brass is, it is 19 into 10 power minus 6 per degrees centigrade. Okay, so try this question. So scale is correct at 0, right? So that means L naught times 1 plus alpha of object into delta theta is equal to measured value times 1 plus alpha of scale into delta theta. Okay, so when both are expanding, here both are expanding because from 0 they have brought to 30. So at 30 degrees centigrade, together this length is given as how much? 1 meter. He is asking which length means L naught, because zinc rod at 30 degrees centigrade measured with brass scale shows 1 meter. Sorry, this is not 1 meter. Okay, so it shows 1 meter. Appears to be 1 meter long. Okay, appears to be 1 meter long means your measured value is given as 1 meter. Okay, which side what you are supposed to keep, you observe carefully. So from this, what is he asking? L naught. Okay, your L naught you calculate. I have shown you clearly. This is measured value times 1 plus alpha of scale into delta theta by 1 plus alpha of object into delta theta. This can be written as measured value times 1 plus alpha of scale minus alpha of object into delta theta. In place of temperature difference between 30 and 0, it is 30. Okay, so you can easily get misleaded in these questions, but stick to the basics. What is given, look for which case it belongs and what value is given, you observe carefully and then do it. Okay, right? Next, there are other questions as well, but not in this conceptual part. In the problem solving sessions we will do more questions. Okay, right. Next, your next idea is a bimetallic strip. Okay, your next part is your bimetallic strip. Now bimetallic strip we will do separately, but before that I forgot an important one, that is your effect of temperature on movement of inertia. Okay, now if you have studied in mechanics, your moment of inertia will be I equal to mk square usually. Okay, that is your formula. Now if it is, for example, ring, I is mr square, that implies k will be equal to r. Okay, next if it is disc, I is mr square by 2 through the centroidal axis, that means your k value is r by root 2. Okay, now indirectly k and r are linearly related to each other. Okay, so now my point is, okay, if you are trying to calculate your percentage change in moment of inertia, such kind of stuff, okay, if you have studied your errors chapter properly, okay, in the starting units and dimensions, this will be there. So if you have z is equal to a into b, delta z by z into 100, percentage change in z is delta a by a into 100 plus delta b by b into 100, you will write it. If you have, for example, z is equal to a power m b power n, then your delta z by z into 100 will be m times delta A by A into 100 plus n times delta B by B into 100. Okay, power what is there, that becomes the coefficient. Okay, for clarity sake, if you take, those who are good in maths, ln z is equal to ln of a power m b power n, like this. That will become m ln a plus n ln b is your ln z. Derivative dz by z is equal to m times dA by a plus n times dB by b. So multiplying, cross multiplying with 100, you will get these expressions. Okay, so now according to this logic, okay, your delta I by I, if you are calculating, it will become delta m by m plus 2 times delta k by k. If you are taking percentage into 100 both sides, if you are taking percentage into 100 into 100, this is your fractional change in moment of inertia. This delta k by k, because this k is directly proportional to r, delta k by k is equivalent to delta r by r. Usually mass will be constant, so mass will not change, so delta m is 0. Delta I by I into 100 is equal to 2 times delta r by r into 100. But what is delta r by r means? Your fractional change delta I by I into 100 is equal to 2 times delta r by r is alpha delta theta into 100. So percentage change in moment of inertia is related with radius or temperature difference depending upon the coefficient of linear expansion is given like this. Okay, so like this you can calculate your effect of temperature on moment of inertia. Depending upon what values you are asked, you substitute the values accordingly and then do the calculation. Okay, right, with this we will stop for today. Okay, that's all. Thank you.